Hi, and welcome to my channel and to a different side of my room because I'm actually finally starting to decorate, but I still don't really know what I want in here. My name is Valerie, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to crochet a balaclava. It's a year too late, but I really like crocheting them. I think they're fun to make. So last year, I actually crocheted a couple of balaclavas, and I even ended up, making them kind of cute and kind of different, but I was not really using like a pattern that I felt I liked. Like, I didn't really like using kind of bulky looking I wasn't using slip stitches. I wasn't really doing anything that I felt could make it look a little more sleek. So I wanted to try to make this pattern for this balaclava. Actually looks really weird when you hold it up just because of how like cinched in it is. But basically it's a whole neck of slip stitching, makes like a really nice ribbed effect. And I was like, I'll show it off. I'll show people what I've made. But basically I wanted to show you guys how to make this balaclava. If you guys still use them. It's cold still here in Vegas. It's January. It's like almost the end of January already, but it's still freezing. So I figured that it'd be like a fun way to like still be warm enough, because it's literally still gonna be cold until like March. And then once March hits, it's gonna be like 100 degrees already. But yeah, so this is the balaclava I wanted to kind of show you guys how to make. I'll show you guys the end result, at the end, and I'll, put it on. I'll show you guys how it looks. I think it has like a really nice sleek look because the knit stitching, like it's almost like a ribbing. It hugs your neck in like, I think, a really nice way. And I think it creates like a really cool outline because you're not having the frame of the balaclava go like around your, like the underside of your jaw. And so I think what that does is it creates just like a very nice look. It is also the new year, and I wanted to I'm also very late to this. I've already failed technically, but I've been wanting to post one video per month just to try to get myself into that routine. It's already January like 29th as I film this, so I don't know if I'm gonna get this out, but if I get this out on the 31st, like, please congratulate me. Like, please, I'm not fast at editing. This takes time for me. So starting off with what you need, it's actually really simple, but basically what you'll be using is, I got this yarn from like Hobby Lobby. So all you really need is 7-ounce yarn, or like 355 meters. That should be more than enough to do the ribbing on the neck as well as the rest of the balaclava. I don't think you should need more than one skein. I am using 100% acrylic. It also recommends a 5.5 millimeter. I play it hard and fast with a 5 because I love being rebellious, as you can tell. You'll also need 2 safety pins. I'm just using regular metal ones because I don't have like the yarn crochet hooks. They're the same thing. You can use either one. And to finish it off, you'll need a crochet needle. This is just to tuck in your loose threads at the end of the project to make sure that it all fits right. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is you're going to start with your slip knot, pretty easy. You're gonna put your crochet hook through it, and then you're going to chain 30, which is gonna be the base of the neck. It's gonna go from the tip of your chin all the way, I would say, down to the base of your neck. And that should be enough with 30. I would suggest kind of measuring it out and seeing how many chains it takes for your neck, or however long you want it to be, to figure out how thick you want the neck to actually be, like your base. Maybe you want it a little shorter, maybe you don't want it at the base of your neck, maybe you want it a little higher. Like, it's up to you, but for mine, we're gonna go with a chain 30, and then you're also going to chain an extra +1, and that's going to be for our next row. So with 30 chains, it doesn't look like very much, but this should be enough for you to kind of lay it and then place it. So it should be where you want it to be. However, remember that this will tighten a little bit when we actually get through with the ribbing, just because that's the nature of it. That's how it'll end up stretching out. The more that you stretch it, the thinner the center is going to become. So it shouldn't be super short either. This sounds very vague, but it'll make more sense later on. So this is where I have to reveal that this tutorial is gonna be really evil because the entire neck is gonna be slip stitching. I know. You can leave the video now if you want. You can do as you please. I know I made a terrible decision doing this. I know it took me 2 weeks to make the base of this original one. So I know it's terrible, but it just looks so good. So what you're gonna do is you're going to, let's see if I can get it close up. Okay, so you have your loops here and you're going to go in through the second chain from your hook. You're going to go through like this. Then you are going to yarn over, pull it through. You are going to end up with 2 loops on your hook. So what you're gonna do is just grab that first one, pull it through, and you have just made your very first loop. Congratulations. So many more to go. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this entire 30 chain with 30 slip stitches. So after you've done 30 slip stitches, it doesn't look like very much, like you just kind of have a worm. But what we're gonna do from here is after you've done your 30th, you're gonna chain 1, pull it through, you're gonna turn it around, you're gonna go through the back loop of your chains. You're not gonna go through both loops. I don't know how else to explain this other than just go through the back loop. Trust me. But what this does is when we pull it, it's going to give our ribbed effect because otherwise we're not gonna be giving ourselves any elasticity in the actual chain itself. You're gonna go through this, you're gonna chain 30 by going through the back loop every time. I've already messed up. And we will talk in a moment. So after a couple minutes, this is a finished row. This is actually the finished first row of slip stitches. It does not look like very much. And the reason it does not is because I am extremely evil. I am a very maniacal person. And after you've chained 30 plus 1 and done your first row of slip stitches to get your little, your little neck started, you have to do, and I have it counted, I have it written down. You have to do 103. Congrats! You picked this tutorial. Out of all of the tutorials that are out there, you picked mine. Congrats. But I am not only evil, I'm also a liar because I have one prepped. I woke up very early to do this video, but even then I knew that no amount of time in a single day would be enough to do this. So this is actually how it should look. Bear in mind that it shouldn't, if you're working from a single ball of yarn, you shouldn't actually end up having all of these loose threads. This was just me using stray yarn pieces that I had from the same color. But you should end up with this very kind of stretchy material. It almost looks knit, and this is what we're going for. This is why you work so hard to make 103 rows of, back loop slip stitches. But it's gonna be so worth it because we can actually, after this, move on. You did it. You're here now. Congratulations. You've suffered and toiled for weeks on end because of my tutorial, and you're gonna look so good because of it. However, before I actually show you the next step, please remember that this is based off my, neck size and head size and everything, and I have a very big head. So always make sure that before you go on to this next step, which is to close it, you kind of wrap it around your neck. I look very odd. And you figure out if it's comfortable, if you don't have to pull at it for the ends to meet. If it's like one to 2 rows difference, you're fine. It's not gonna be that different. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. But if the space between the ends are about I would say that much or so, you still have you still have to chain that. You still have to make more rows and add on to, you know, my guide, because otherwise it's gonna be too tight and it's not even, more than likely, it's not gonna get over your head. So please make sure that this fits you properly without it stretching. It shouldn't need to stretch for it to fit your neck. So you've done it, congratulations. You have reached row 103, or however many it is that you need to fit around your neck comfortably. What you're gonna do is you are going to chain one, gonna turn it around, and then we are going to close this. So put them together. It's okay if you feel like one side has stretched out a bit. The same thing happened with my original, where the back felt a little stretched. Like one side was a bit longer than the other, even though I did double check and they both are like 30 chain, 30 chain. It's basically the end here is adapting to the stretch that you've been adding on. But it adjusts on its own. It doesn't take anything. It's like, you're fine. But what we're gonna do is you are going to find the very first, well, technically it's the last or the first, whichever you want, your 30th chain or your first chain. And you're going to find that and you're gonna put your needle, your hook, I should call it that. I'm gonna grab this here, skip the chain closest to your hook. You're gonna go in through the next, through the back. And when you have this together, so you're going to lift it up a bit and you're going to find the very first row that we did, which was the original chain 30 plus 1. I'm gonna go through there. You're going to skip this first loop. Let's see if I can show it a little better. You're going to have a little loop here, and that is actually the +1 of your row, and it's the one that adds the height. So you're gonna avoid that. You're gonna go through the second one right here, yarn over, pull through one, pull through the second. And so what you're gonna do is you're going to find it, go through the back loop. You are going to find your either your second or your 29th, whatever you want to call it. You're going to go through here, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. And with that, you now have a closed back. So we're gonna go through this, and then after that, we can actually start the very easy part of actually making the back of the head. I promise, I pinky promise that it is 1,000,000 times easier than what I have just put you guys through. I know I'm a horrible, awful person for having created this tutorial, but you're gonna look so good. You're gonna look so slay. So after having done 30 of these chains, these stitches, you have now completed your neck. Congratulations. This is the fruit of your labor. Congratulations. You have done it. So I have just chained the 30th chain, and I'm just going to pull it through. I've already cut the yarn. I have this left over. I'm gonna keep it long because that makes me feel a little more secure. It's like a little security blanket for me. And so the next thing that it's time to do is to, one, you do have the option to turn this inside out if depending on which side you like for it to be facing. I personally like to turn it inside out because that gives kind of a smoother look, and this smoothens out even more after you've done the back of the head because it does stretch it out a little bit. So you end up with this kind of nice look. It does look like a seam, but like, that's life. After that, what you are going to do, I'm looking this over. What you are going to do next is you are going to put this on your head. And you are going to do your very best not to laugh because you will look very silly. But I will look silly with you because I will put it on for both of us. So while trying not to choke, you are going to put this on and you are going to, one, be enamored by how good you look with the ribbed knit neck. And two, you are going to actually use this very visible back seam to your benefit. You are going to feel it, and you are going to make sure that it's lined up with basically like your spine. And that's gonna be the best way to do this, just so that way you can make sure that it's aligned and that it doesn't look like tilted or to the side. Next thing you're gonna do is you are going to use your handy dandy, safety pins. And you are going to, now you want to leave space for this because we're also going to have a frame around it. So you can't have, basically you're going to find, I would say where your ear, like right before your ear starts and your jaw ends, you are going to find that space there and you are going to pin it. Doesn't have to be the cleanest, doesn't have to be super nice or neat or anything like that. You just want to be careful like me because I'm using the real ones. And you have now pinned the beginning of the back of your head. And so you are going to do the same with your other pin. So you are going to find where your jaw ends, but right before your ear starts. You're going to grab that section. You're gonna be very careful and not do what I'm doing. And you are going to pin it. Also, I'm looking in the reflection of my camera and that's why I look like I look like I'm not focused. So there you have it. Congratulations. You now have the base of your balaclava. So the way that I do this is a little like touch and go, but basically I will kind of keep my finger you know, kind of as a marker as to where the pin is. I'll take it out. I will then, with my finger still there to mark it, I will kind of, so you just kind of have to jam it, like wherever it fits, you just kind of have to put it in there and that's your count. You're going to make a little loop. You can hold it with your yarn. Put it through your hook. I like to wrap it a little bit around my finger so that way I have more of a hold. In this case, you're going to chain 2 because what we're going to do next is we are going to do, this is based off of my dimensions and I'll double check it before finishing it. But you are going to do basically throughout the back of your neck, you are going to do as many double crochets as you can. Basically until you reach the other pin. So I am nearly at the end of my first row of double crochets. So I don't really have to keep track of this one the way I did with the first one because I can just pull this out, put it to the side, and then I can just yarn over, push through, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is my completed first row. This for me ended up being 40 double crochets. I ended up with an even number, and no matter what quantity you get for this, please try to make sure that it is an even number, just because that will make putting all of this together a lot easier when we're doing the top or like the crown of the balaclava. After having done my first row, I'm going to chain 2, so 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to start over. I'm going to yarn over, push through the first chain, yarn, pull out, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is the first double crochet of my second row. And we are going to do 11 full rows for the back of your head, for the back of my head, if we want to say it like that. Again, this is all dependent on how tall you feel like you want the back to be. I made the back of mine to be just slightly above where my eyebrows lay, and that is where the 11 rows are going to be. We're just going to go through, do 11 more, actually no, we're going to do 10 more rows, and then I'm going to come back and then we can talk about how to do the actual top of your head. So this is how it should be looking. This is with 10 rows. I have 1 left and I now am finally getting sunlight. I don't have direct windows, so I've just been basically working off of whatever light is able to get into my bedroom at, you know, 8 in the morning. But it's like 12 now, so I guess we're gonna get some better quality video, but I don't know, we'll see. So the next thing that we're gonna do once you have like your base ready, is we are going to do, for me, it works to be 20. It can be however many you want. Again, it's up to you. But for me, we are going to do 20 foundation double crochets. I'm gonna show you guys kind of how I start it and how I end it. So that way you can see kind of how to connect it like from one side to the other without there being like a weird gap in between. So the first thing you're gonna do is you are going to chain 2, but you are going to turn it around and you are going to, let's see if I can grab it, within the same hole, go through, pull, slip stitch it, and then one more. So go through, yarn over, and then slip stitch. And so this is basically like the side of the foundation crochet. So then with these two, you're going to turn it around again. It's a little tight, so you want to keep it loose. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go through that very first chain that we did. Go through it. It's going to be, you want to keep it loose so that way it's not too hard. I made mine like a little too tight, but it's not a problem. You're going to yarn over, pull through, and then what's going to happen is that, and you want to keep it all aligned, you're going to end up with 3 on your hook. So 3 loops on your hook. And so once you have these 3, what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over, pull through 1, right? You're going to keep it. You want to keep a hold on it so that way it doesn't move. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And so that is 1 full foundation double crochet, and we're gonna do 20 of these. So I'm on the 19th double crochet. So yarn over, go to the bottom loop, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through 1, yarn over, go through 2, and then yarn over, go through 2. So this is the 19th. And then for the 20th, you want to have the other side ready. And this is where I'm gonna do my best to show it. I really don't want it to be blurry. So yarn over, you're gonna go through the bottom loop, the bottom of your double crochets, go through it, yarn over. And so what we're gonna do is we are gonna yarn over once. That's fine because that is the bottom of the foundation. And then you want to not do it on the side, but you want to do it on the top of your balaclava. You are going to be very tricky, and you are going to go through the very first stitch, the very first double crochet at the edge of the balaclava. You're going to go through it. You're going to yarn over, pull through that, and then pull through 2. 1, 2. You're left with 2. And so then you are going to, once again, go through the second double crochet. I'm gonna go through that, yarn over, pull through the double crochet, and then you're going to pull through the 2 remaining loops. And so that is going to give you a full connected foundation double crochet. And you're not gonna end up with like any weird gaps or anything like that. It's gonna be fully closed and it won't pull or snag or anything. We're going to do 1 more row of 20 double crochets, or however many crochets you did. You're just gonna do the same amount on the second row. Okay, so we have now done, outside of the foundation crochet, we have now done 3 rows of 20 stitch double crochets. Now, what we're gonna do is we're going to decrease our stitch down from 20 to 18. So what that means is that you are separating it into 3 sections, because it's, I think, a better way to end up with a kind of rounded appearance for the, like, the top of the head. It ends up looking a little more round, and I think it kind of fits it a little better. So we're going to do 6 regular double crochets. We are going to, in the 6 double crochet, yarn over, pull through, and so we have 3 on our hook, yarn over, pull through, so we end up with 2 on here. So then we are going to yarn over, go through the 7th double crochet, yarn over, pull through, we end up with 4 now. So yarn over, pull through 2, we end up with 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. And so that was a decrease stitch. And then we have now decreased from 20 to 18. And so as you can kind of see, it does begin to round out naturally just because that's the way that we're going through it. And I just like the way that that looks. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I just like doing it from the center in instead of from the side of the balaclava. So that way, again, you just kind of end up with like something more form-fitting to your head. So we're going to do 3 18 rows, and then we're gonna go on to the next one. Okay, so this is gonna be the final row of the balaclava. So what you're gonna do is you already did the 2 slip stitches on the side. Let me get this ready. So this is like a really tight fit, and I am sorry in advance, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna, if you've used the sizing that I have, we're gonna drop this down from 18 to 6. But it's gonna be easy, I promise, it's easy. So you're going to stitch 1. This is gonna be a regular double crochet. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, 3 on the hook, pull through 2, and then pull through. Okay, so on this final pull through, what we're gonna do is we are going to the best of our abilities, go into the, basically on the base of the balaclava, you are going to slip stitch into the next crochet, yarn over, and now you're going to pull through all 3. And so what you've done is you've connected the balaclava head, like the crown, to the back. So then we are going to shorten it down by 2. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And this one's gonna be like a little bit of a tight squeeze, but I believe in you. So you now have 2 on the hook, yarn over, go through the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through, there's 4 on the hook now, yarn over, pull through 2, we now have 3 on the hook, but we're shortening down to 6. So what that means is that we are not going to pull through yet. We are going to yarn over 1 more time, go through the double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, 1, 2. Actually, no, make that 3. Yarn over through 3, and then you're left with 3 on the hook. You're gonna go through on the back of the head, the next, let's see if you can just see it, the next double crochet on the head. You're going to go through that, yarn over, you now have 4 on the hook, yarn over, and then pull through all 4. You can go through it one by one or all at once, however it's easier for you. And you have now connected it, congrats. So we now have something going on here. So we have now cut down 2. So then we are going to go through our next double crochet. This one is a normal double crochet, yarn over, go through, yarn over, then you're gonna pull through 2. And on the last 2, you are going to go through the back, yarn over, you now have 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and you will keep doing this. So then the next one will be yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to go into the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you are going to, let's see, yarn over, go into the next one, yarn over, pull through 3, 1, 2, 3, you're left with 3 on the hook, and then you are going to find the back, go through there, yarn over, you now have 4 on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. So after doing that, you should end up with 1 final double crochet on the top of the head, and you should have 2 remaining stitches right here on the base. So what we're gonna do, just to make it easy for everyone, because I'm nice like that, is we are going to yarn over, go through double crochet, pull through. We are going to go through, not the one on the left, but the one on the right. We are going to go through that double crochet from the back of the head, yarn over, pull through. You now have 4 on the hook, but you're only going to yarn over and pull through 2 of them. Actually, no, make that 3. You now have 2 on the hook. So if you can find it, you're going to go through the very last back double crochet. We're gonna yarn over, pull through. You now have 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. You now have the back of your balaclava ready. It looks rough, like I will not lie, it looks rough, but once you put it on, it actually adapts and stretches and gets the fit that it should have. This looks so skinny, like it looks so slim, but that is because we are missing one final part, which is to do more slip stitches, because I love to torture myself. This is actually technically the easiest part, because we're not working with a 30 length. Like, we're not gonna do all 30. What we're gonna do is we're going to start making the frame of the balaclava. And so I like to keep it at like an even number just so it's easy. Do round number, doesn't matter, it's up to your preference. But basically what we are gonna do, let me grab the yarn. You're gonna grab your loop. Then you are going to kind of guesstimate. I have my thumb there. I'm going to go through, if I can, grab my yarn, loop it. I'm going to try to grab it as tight as I can. Pull it through. And then I am going to keep the string long. I'm going to make 1 loop, 1 chain, and then I'm going to do 7 chains. So it should be pretty easy. Sometimes it's a struggle, but you're gonna go in where you can. So, and then you're gonna keep on doing this basically the entire time around the head. And that is going to be your final step. Okay, my hands are tired. It's been 2 hours and I have finished it. Hopefully we both have. So here is the finished piece. As you can see, it no longer looks so skinny and so weird because we now have like the curves of the top, and you know, we have like this like nice knit ribbing over on the side and it stretches. So overall, I don't know, I think it's a nice piece, and I think put on, it looks really nice. I'm gonna put on makeup and I'm gonna show you guys just how it looks on me, how I would style it. I'm not changing shirts because that is too much for me right now. I've been sitting here for like since like 8 in the morning and it's like 3 now. I'll be back in a moment. So here it is in all of its glory. Yes, I know, but I don't know, I like it. As many people have said, you do feel like you need to put on makeup to put on like a balaclava and like look good in it, but I don't know, I like it. I think it's like a nice color. I hope you guys like this tutorial. I really hope you guys like the video and just kind of like, I'm adjusting it right now. I hope you guys like the tutorial. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys actually do go and, you know, knit, crochet the whole 103 rows, because I do think it's worth it. I think it's just like a nice piece in general to put on. And so I was thinking of kind of having a giveaway for one of these, because I do plan on selling one of them on my Depop. I'm not sure which one. Probably this one, just because I think it's a little easier to sell. I think it's more of a unique piece with the fabric that I picked, with the yarn that I picked. But yeah, if I decide to do a giveaway, I'll probably announce it on like TikTok or something, and I'll just make it really easy, and I'll post whichever one ends up being the giveaway one. I'll just have it on my Depop and it's easier to ship that way. But I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys go out and buy some yarn and a 5.5mm hook and, you know, make one of these. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.